El alfabeto. A, árbol. B, bufanda. Sometimes because this letter is identical to the letter V, you'll hear B grande or B as in burro. B de burro o B grande. B. C, coche. Che, chupete. But remember, this is no longer its own letter in the dictionary. De, dedal. Remember that the D pronunciation depends on where it is in the word. So at the beginning of the word, it's a stronger de sound, de. But in the middle of a word surrounded by vowels, it has a soft th sound like the word the or those. So dedal, dedal. E, euro. F, flor. G, guante. Like the letter C, the G has two different sounds, just like in English, depending on the vowels that follow it. So like the C in English, if it's followed by A, O, or U, like cat, coat, or cut, as a k sound. And whereas if it's followed by the letter E or I, like ceiling or cinema, it has a softer S sound, okay? Same thing in Spanish. The G is the same way. So the G in front of the letter E, for example, has a G sound, and in front of a U has a G sound. In English, you hear this in gigantic, where you have the letter G making J sound and a G sound for gigantic. So, G, guante. H. H is the only silent letter in Spanish. Helicóptero. I, imán. Now this letter we get from Latin, so it's known as also I Latina if you want to separate it from the other E at the end of the alphabet from the Greek. I griega. This one is I griega, and this one is I Latina, but we just call it I. J, jalapeño. K, kiwi. There really aren't very any native Spanish words that start with the letter K. It's more representing words that come from other languages. L, luna. Elye or elye. Depending on which country you're in, it has a different sound. The farther north you go has more of an elye sound, like llave. And the further south you go in the Americas, you'll hear more of a j sound, like jave or jave. Not chave, but jave or jave. Okay. But elye is no longer its own letter in the dictionary, but it used to be. M, montaña. N, nariz. Ñ, piña. This is the only language in the whole world that has an ñ with the squiggle. That's called a tilde. We have it in words in English that are like words that have ny, like the word canyon. Also, there's the word lasagna. All the Italian words have a gn. That's the same sound. Nya. Ñ. O, ojo. When someone says ojo, please know that they're telling you, watch out. Ojo. P, paraguas. Q, 15. R, rueda. A word that starts with the letter R has to be trilled. R. A word that has a double R in the middle of the word, also that has to be trilled, like carro. But a word that has just a single R in the middle, it's just one flick of the tongue against the roof of your mouth. So caro, caro. And it's sometimes like the double D in the word buddy. It's just one touch, one flick. So Carro or caro, depending on how many R's are in the middle of the word. S, sandía. T, tambor. U, uvas. The letter V used to have the sound or the name be, which is identical sounding to this be. So sometimes they call this be grande, and they would call this one be chica, or be de burro y be de vaca. No, sí, be de vaca. But now we've just changed the name of it completely a few years ago. The Academia Real in España changed it to V. So V, volcán. W or W, web. Spanish words don't have a W in them, so all these words that start with a W, we know that they come from other languages, mostly Germanic languages. X, xilófono. Y, yo-yo. Of course, the farther north in the Americas you go, the more ya it is, yo-yo. And the further south you go, the more ja it becomes, yo-yo, yo-yo. Zeta, zapato. Now in España, they have their own accent too, and Z's have a TH sound. So, teta and zapato. Adios.